The train screeched to a halt, jolting 5-year-old Saru awake. Bleary-eyed, he searched for his brother, Gudu, but the carriage was empty. Panic flooded him, hot and heavy. "Gudu?" he called, his voice thin in the vastness of the train. The only response was the rhythmic clickety-clack of the wheels. Lost, Saru pressed himself against the cold, metal seat, the train hurtling him further and further away from everything he knew. Days blurred into nights, the rumble of the train, a constant lullaby in his nightmares. He found himself in Calcutta, a bustling city that felt both terrifying and strangely familiar. Hunger gnawed at his stomach, but fear gnawed deeper. He dodged shadows, scavenged for scraps, and slept curled up in doorways, the world a cold, unforgiving place. One day, a calloused hand reached down, offering him a warm smile and a piece of roti. A woman, her face etched with kindness, led him to an orphanage. Here, he was bathed, fed, and given a new name, new life. But the ache for his real family, for his mother's gentle touch and Gudu's playful taunts, never left. He clung to the few memories he had: a narrow lane lined with shops, a giant banyan tree, the sweet scent of jasmine filling the air. Years passed, and Saru grew into a young man. He studied hard, earning himself a place at university in Australia. Yet, a part of him remained in that dusty town in India. Then, one day, he stumbled upon Google Earth. A spark of hope flickered in his chest. He spent hours, days, weeks zooming in on maps, his finger tracing the labyrinthine streets of countless Indian towns. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the screen in fiery hues, he saw it. A narrow lane, its twists and turns echoing the one in his memory. A massive banyan tree stood sentinel at the end, its branches reaching out like welcoming arms. Khandwa, his heart hammered a frantic rhythm against his ribs. With a mixture of trepidation and excitement, Saru booked a flight to India. He stood at the edge of the familiar lane, his breath catching in his throat. Every sound, every smell, was a forgotten language his heart instinctively understood. He walked towards the banyan tree, its leaves whispering secrets in the warm breeze. And then, he saw her, a woman, older, her hair streaked with silver, yet her eyes held the same spark of defiance that lived within him. She stood frozen, her gaze locked on his. "Ma," he whispered, the word tasting foreign on his tongue, yet resonating with the deepest yearning of his soul. Tears welled up in her eyes, spilling down her weathered cheeks. A sob escaped her lips, and she threw her arms open, engulfing him in a hug that spoke volumes more than any words ever could. They were home, at last, not to a place, but to each other, a family reunited after a lifetime apart.